guys, welcome back to ILW Pod. I'm Justin Wright, your host. I will be talking with indie talent Eddie Hindrixx today. How you doing, man?
Oh man, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. It's a long day, even longer night, but we're gonna get right to it.
Sounds good. Most podcasts, they throw in all the plugs at the end. You want to go ahead and let everybody know your, Instagram handles, all that good stuff where they can find you?
Oh, of course, of course. Look, you can find me on Instagram on Eddie Hendricks, literally Eddie Hendricks _.
Gotcha.
You can find me on Twitter at Dolomite Hendricks. For those who don't know how to spell Dolomite, Dolemite Hendricks.
Got you. Thank you, man. Is there anything you got coming up? Any big matches or anything that you want to go ahead and throw out there?
Oh man. So at least so far for the month of October, I got a GIPW debut on the 20th, and I get to run some ones with a very tall man at RIPW on October 27th. Some other stuff may come up. You may see me at Action Pro Wrestling on the 18th, but as far as right now, that's what I got for the month.
Sounds good. We're just gonna jump into some questions. Um, so when did you know that you wanted to do this crazy thing we call wrestling?
Okay, so the generic answer is I've always known. No, but I've always been a big fan, and since I was a kid, I vividly remember what got me into watching wrestling. It was the American Badass Undertaker debuted his character. I was just scrolling through TV and you hit the doom, keep rolling, roll. I was like, oh, what's going on? I just see this man on this chopper right down to the ring. I was like, oh, this is good. And from that point on, it took on, and I had the toys, I had the belts, I had a 3.5 foot bunny I would wrestle and have matches with as a kid. So it's always been part of my life as a fan, but when I knew I wanted to wrestle came in two moments.
Okay.
One was coming out of high school. It was my senior year, and WWE started back up Tough Enough. And, it was sending a video, whatever, you'll get picked. And I'm like, I'm going to college. I'm going to go play football, you know. Besides, they're not going to pick an 18-year-old kid. Then I watched Tough Enough, and the guy who ends up winning, ZZ, he's not with the company now. I think he does Gator wrestling down in Florida. Uh, he was an 18-year-old kid, so I was like, that was a shot I could have took. Could have hit, it could have missed, but I still should have taken it. The second time I knew that wrestling was meant for me was I went to a Raw that came to Atlanta, and I met some local indie wrestlers there. They told me where they train at. It wasn't a real school. It was a guy. He's actually, I believe he's on TNA now. Johnny Swinger. Um, he was a WCW guy. His credibility was, he was beaten by Goldberg multiple times on the streak, and he was like, yeah, you got to be good to get come back a couple times. I was like, fair enough. So I started training with him and some of his guys, 2 nights a week, $40 a session, and I was realizing I was good at it. Fast forward that next summer, I come back from college and I get to train more, from the start of the summer on. And it's 2016 at this point. It's the end of the summer. He's like, I think you're ready to have a match. And so I go down way South Georgia in this small dance hall with probably 40, 50 people, and I have 3 matches that night. And that was the night I knew this is meant for me. Like 120%, this was meant for me. This was meant what I need to do.
Okay. What was it like training with Johnny Swinger and them?
Um, it was all right. It wasn't oh so much organized as like, the school where I've trained at recently and like other professional wrestling schools, it was probably more or less an area for guys who have kind of got the basics of wrestling down, where he gives you somewhere to bump around and work on stuff. So he taught me the basics, how to run the ropes, how to take a bump, the lockups, things of that nature, because he knew I was greener than baby shit. So it was, like I said, it wasn't oh so structured, but to me, it was a brand new world. So he broke it down enough, and some of the stuff just came to me naturally on how to move your body, things of that nature. We did a hell of a conditioning drill where you'd wrestle five, six, seven guys straight back to back, like for however long, until he tells the other guy to go out, you stay in, a fresh guy comes in. So he did enough to like get you a good workout in. We did have practice matches, work on techniques of moves, but it just wasn't like here's what we're gonna do this week, here's what we're gonna do that week. So it wasn't fully structured, but for me, it was easier to grasp.
Okay. What would you say, like, how would you say wrestling training compares to like a football training?
Okay, so what I'm going to say is they're two different kinds of training,
Hmm.
but wrestling training got me in the best shape of my life. At least when I first started back in 16. After 2016, I took a break to actually find a school. Also, Johnny started training. I assume he started getting some more bookings, and then next thing I know, I see him on TNA or Impact, and now it's TNA.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, good for him. I'm glad, he's still able to get out there and get some recognition. Because at the end of the day, he was a worker. He might have not been the most famous, but he could work really well, and it translates. But the training is it's brutal in a sense because when you're doing football, you got the pads, you got the helmet. You can still get hurt, yes, and you're outside running or whatever in heat, and yeah, that will get you in good shape. But in the ring, you're always using every part of your body. You're using every muscle to do these moves to protect yourself, protect the person you're working with, and you don't have any pads. And as what people don't understand is that ring ain't soft. Like it's not concrete, but it ain't soft. So I know my body was beat the first few weeks I was doing it. I was more sore than I ever been. But when I came back for college football, I was in the best shape of my life. I was outworking everybody. And I didn't even do any of the football workouts. I did wrestling training.
I know like I've done amateur wrestling and I've
Mhm.
played football, and amateur wrestling is probably the hardest thing I've ever did. I
Oh,
can only imagine. I've heard stories of what pro wrestling is like even compared to that.
yes, it is because you're in there for hours. Like the correlation between amateur wrestling and pro wrestling is almost a double-sided coin in my opinion because no pads, you're working on technique, and when you're in practice, I mean, you're still not trying to hurt the other guy
Yeah.
who you're working with, but it's a little more it's just competitive. With pro wrestling, it's the same competitiveness, the same technique in the heat, working, this conditioning, like it's that full body conditioning that you don't get in a lot of sports. Track, you're working on your running and your long distance, football, you're working about short bursts, things of that nature. But pro wrestling is full body conditioning. Is at the end of the day, is your mind stronger than your body?
Nice.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what a lot of people don't understand about it.
a bit. So like, would you say like toll on your body? What's that like? Like taking those bumps all the time.
Oh man, so
Does it ever get
when
better?
it does. I
Okay.
will say it does because when I finally came back to wrestling October of 22, I found a school here in Georgia, WWA4. I've been watching them for years while I was in college. After I found out about them, I came to see some of their, Thursday shows they do for their students live. So when I was back home, and I'd watch their shows, and like I was like, oh, this is exactly where I need to be. But it does get better because you learn how to, like I said, you learn how to bump, you learn how to fall, you learn how to take care of yourself. And that first couple weeks, your body's gonna be shot to shit. I know mine was like, and like I said, I played football. I've been my best ability I've had doing sports is I've been very durable. I've never had like a serious injury. I never had to get surgery, never broken a bone, nothing like that. But when I got to doing the wrestling, like my body was more sore than it's ever been. Those ropes, running those ropes, they're hard. But now I don't even feel it. Certain stuff I don't even feel anymore because I've gotten used to it and I know how to bump and protect myself properly.
Okay. So are you still training?
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Um, so how many years would you say you've been like actively training so far?
So it's been under 2 years for me
Okay.
since I've officially rebranded and, actually started my career. Like I said, I wrestled back in 2016. I had a few matches there. I wrestled under the name of King with a Y, which was stupid. Um, had a generic singlet, didn't have a gimmick, just went out there and did it. It was the first time I ever did it. But since re coming back, rebranding myself, and actually shooting for this career, like I said, December would be 2 years since I debuted. So I started training middle of October of 22, and I debuted for their live shows on Thursdays, the first week of December.
Okay.
So December this year would make it 2 years officially.
Nice. Where did you get the name Eddie Hendricks from?
Okay, so don't think I'm crazy, but I've always had the dream of being a wrestler, and everyone in college knew that. Like I had I had boys that when, before meetings and at, football meetings, the coaches were taking too long, we just we have a random match, right there in the meeting room. It'd be me and like three, four other people and just, doing all our favorite moves, rock bottom, So it was while I was in college, I had a dream. I had a dream I was wrestling. I won the match. Bell rings. I hear, and your winner, Eddie Hindrixx. Because I was bouncing back between names. I was gonna go with Kenny Cage, um, like just a whole bunch. I was thinking about maybe I bring the King with a Y back. Just trying to figure out what to go with. But I had a dream one night and it felt so real. Like it felt like I was there actually wrestling. Like I felt the tiredness, I felt the sore. I got my hand raised, the sweat in the sun, Eddie Hendricks. And then I woke up. And I was so mad that it was just a dream. I was like, okay, that's not a dream. That's a message. That's the name I'm going with.
I like it. It flows so well. Like it's and it suits you. Like I was looking through your Instagram and stuff, looking at some of your stuff, and I was like,
Mm.
that just some ring names don't fit people at all. Like I've seen some
Oh,
terrible ones, and I was like,
hmm.
yeah, it fits. Like, and it's different. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's just it's a different. Like you hear all the like Jimi Hendrix like remixed names out there. It's cool. I like it.
No, I appreciate that because actually Jimi Hendrix is one of my favorite artists of all time.
Okay.
He's 100% in my top 10, and that's of all genres, like not just rock or bass guitar, of all genres. I'll put him in. He's in my top 10, and
Okay.
then but I didn't want it to be spelled like Hendrix because I didn't want to get the Jimi Hendrix, Eddie Hendrix, I didn't want that.
Yeah.
So Future dropped an album called Future Hendrix, and it's spelled how my name is spelled now, and I was like, I like that. I like that. It's cool. It's different. So I just took the Eddie Hendrix that I got in the dream and just added the Future Hendrix with it. And I was like, oh yeah, this is it.
Okay. Is there okay, would you like to explain the gimmick at all?
Oh man, oh great. Oh man. So for me, my gimmick is fairly simple. I'm a big bad motherfucker, and I come through and handle business. That's what I do. Um, I've had a couple of monikers that I've been bouncing back and forth. First one was Sun God, the Beacon of Hope, Fighter of the People, Liberator, the Bringer of Fun. That's what I got. That's what I got. Then I became Wild Strong because I'm much stronger than most people think they would think. Like I do have the frame, so you can think, oh yeah, he looks strong. You like he played football, but I'm not just you know can lift a lot of weight strength. I'm functionally strong. I know how to use my body and use it well. And then my little more heelish gimmick that I'm working on now is Hero Killer Eddie Hendricks.
Like it.
And that's the guy who's out here trying to rid the wrestling game of all these fake wrestlers, of all these so-called, oh, I'm this, or I'm a Terminator, or I'm the fun guy. Like, are you really? Are you really a wrestler? Are you really about this Graps life? After I hit you, throw you, knock you silly, are you still that same fun guy, or are we gonna see, Justin Smith, the guy you really are? I'm done with the fake graps. I'm done with all the, people have some fun gimmicks. I will give them that. But Hero Killer is not for it. I'm here to expose the fake and differentiate those who are really wrestlers and those who are just out here having fun.
Okay. I like it. And I feel like, wrestling nowadays needs that. You go to an indie show, a local indie show, and the whole card, except for the one legend that's at the top, is full of people that are just there,
Mm-hmm. And
wanting to stay there.
yeah, you get a lot of that. Like I said, only what under 2 years, but I've done a lot of traveling. I've been in a lot of locker rooms. I've been a lot around a lot of guys that know their game. Our head coach at A4, AR Fox, easily one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, in my opinion. doesn't get the recognition he gets. He really understands this Graps game, and then he's just such a an innovator.
Yeah,
Like
he can
he
go,
does a
man.
lot, he does a lot of stuff that you would never seen, or if someone else did it because they saw it from him. Like he really does understand this Graps game, and his knowledge that he's gained over his 16, 17 plus years wrestling, the AJ Styles and all these other guys that he's been in the ring, the Swerve Stricklands, like he's been in the ring with some greats, and he just takes that knowledge and gives it to us. And I couldn't be more thankful for it. Because, like I said, you get a lot of guys who are just out here doing this for fun, or, I do it to stay in shape, or it's a hobby. It's not that for me. I don't do it to stay in shape. It's not a hobby. I want to feed my family off this. I want to be, when my boots can't lace anymore, when my straps are down for the last time, I want to be regarded as one of the best. That's the goal I'm going for. And I know if I can be that, if I can shoot for perfection, because it's on the road to perfection where greatness is achieved. That's one of my favorite quotes. If I can shoot for that, the money will come. Like I'm not in it just for the money, but I know that I want to be able to feed my family and give them a life off this. So that's why I'm not here to play. Like that's why when I started, like I said, I started training in middle of August. I debuted 5, 6 weeks later. That doesn't happen too often when, if you, especially since I haven't done it in 6 years was the last time from 16 to 22 was the last time I wrestled. I haven't done it in 6 years. This is post COVID. I'm not in the best physical shape. I mean, I'm not super fat. I used to be, but I wasn't in the best shape, but I came in there and grinded it out because I know that I feel like I wasted my time waiting so long to start wrestling that I have to make up for missed time. So I didn't come to play. I didn't come to ha ha and hee hee. I didn't come to have a silly character. It's just not me. I am a fun guy. I like to laugh. I like to joke. That's just who I am. But when it comes to this wrestling, I did not come to play. I didn't come to force choke slam somebody like I'm Vader or whatnot, no matter if it did get a pop. Not trying to throw shade to Chucky Taylor. I believe that's who did it. It was fire when I saw it, but that's just not me. If I'm gonna choke slam somebody, it's gonna be my hand there around their throat up through the mat.
So, where does Eddie Hendricks see himself in 10 years?
10 years, where do I see myself? 10 years, I see myself easily in the best in the world debate. I see myself on television. I see myself as a champion. I see myself causing havoc with my boys. That's where I see myself.
Like it.
Like
So, with that said, what is there anything that you think you have to do to get there? Like, what does the ladder look like to climb to get there, do you think?
the ladder for me, what am seeing and looking at, I gotta travel more. I gotta, because I'm not trying to just get stuck here in Georgia. There are 20, 30-year Georgia vets that ain't made it out. I ain't gonna be that. I've been to Georgia, Florida, Tennessee so far in these 2 years. That's cool, but I want more.
Okay.
I have to travel more. and I gotta get some good quality reps. I can't just be fighting your local Dave at the store. I want big names on my list. I want to get in front of these eyes and also get some merch. That's one thing I definitely have 100% struggled with. I don't really have any merch, and I know that goes a long way with your marketability. And
Okay.
then also, I would like to get myself in a little more shape. I'm not in bad shape. I just would like to go from 285 to about 265, somewhere in that area. Just get a little slimmer, nice little bulk, nice little tone. I think that, and also listening, learning, and continuing to evolve will get me to where I need to be. Like I can't stay stagnant. I always got to evolve the move set, evolve the thinking, evolve the character. That's what I have to keep doing, and I will only be able to do that with experience. Getting out there, getting in front of these guys, getting bigger reps, fighting bigger names. And that's all, and that will take care of itself because as far as I've been told, I have the skill. I have the in ring. I have the presence. That's one thing I've always been told, and I don't like to brag on myself because I always feel like I'm crap and I could be better. But I have the presence. I have the physicality, the physicalness of it. I just need to get better in these other areas, I feel like, based on where I'm at now, where I was, and where I need to get to this next step.
Huh. I like that. It's goals are always something that's important, and it seems like you got yours definitely set where they need to be, especially to achieve that greatness that you're aiming for.
Yeah, man. You got to be a sponge in this game. Like you stop being you stop learning when you think you're the smartest person in the room. And when it comes to this wrestling, there's so much knowledge of it. You gotta consume the game, but you can't let it consume you either. Because at the same time, I have a family.
Yeah.
Once I walk through this door, I'm no longer Eddie Hindrixx. I'm dad. I'm a father. I'm a boyfriend, I'm a provider. So you can't let it consume you to where it ruins your shoot life.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know you have to consume a lot. And that's what I do. Like if it honestly, if it isn't wrestling or anime or something like that or something else I would watch, I don't really watch much else. I don't watch live television like unless it's wrestling.
So
You
you're
know?
always soaking it in.
Yeah, like if like I'll soak it in. Even if I don't watch it live, I'll find a way to watch it back.
Okay. Is there anybody like now or past tense that you really focus on or pay attention to?
Oh man, man, man. All right, great. So past tense, who I like to look at. Um, I enjoy me a good Stan Hansen
Okay.
just by being a brutal bastard. Like he was just wild. But what I really try to model myself after in my own way. I'm a big Samoa Joe fan. I'm a big Kurt Angle fan. Um, like those because they were good characters, but they also were really about the graps. And that's what I'm really am about. I don't want to just be, I could do a flip here and it's all character. Like I want you to know that when you see me in this ring, I can really go. So I look at people who can really go, like your Bret Harts. Um, man, there was a bunch of guys. Like I love you. I love my Eddies. Eddie Grill. That's honestly why I spelled my name Eddie like that.
Okay.
You know, I watch those guys for their in-ring ability, the AJ Styles, like for their in-ring abilities. And then, you know, you get your good character works. Like I said, Undertaker was my favorite character. Shawn Michaels is a great character. Like you get your good character works. Dolph Ziggler was a great character, and like how he's able to make other people look way better than they would be.
Yep.
That's what some people don't understand. Like wrestling is just about how it's not about how good you look, it's about how good you can make your other person look. And that's what I always try to do. Like
Okay.
you gotta protect the character, protect the size, yeah, yada yada. But when it's time for me to sell my ass off, oh brother, I'm in there. So like I said, the Shawn Michaels, Dolph Ziggler's, your big sellers. Like I watch them. You know, now, oh, right now I'm a big Braun guy. I'm a big Gunther guy. I just love it. I watch everything Samoa Joe has ever done. Your Keith Lee's is a lot of thing. And, you know, when I first started is what I got a lot of comparisons to because I am big and strong, but I'm a lot more agile than people think.
I was gonna say, looking at you, like looking through your Instagram and stuff, you remind me a lot of like Powerhouse Hobbs. Was the first guy I thought of when I saw you, and I was
Yes, yeah, yes.
like,
When Powerhouse Hobbs came on, it went from Keith Lee to Hobbs. I was like, fuck. I was like, I was like, geez, not another one. So it's like, but no, I love Hobbs. Hobbs is really good. I don't think they use Hobbs like they should, and that upsets me. Like Hobbs is another really good guy. Another guy that I like to model my work by is O'Shea Edwards, indie guy.
Okay.
Gets looked over a lot in my opinion. And it's not just because he was actually my first match way back in 2016 before he was super recognized like he is now. Like he was my very first match. We wrestled in this dance hall, you know, maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes, something like that. He was who I trained with a lot. He taught me a lot. And so that's another guy I continue to watch to this day to model myself. I still talk to him on a regular, have him look at some of my stuff to see, because like I said, he was the first guy to show me that I can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, so but like I said, I like all wrestling. You know, whether it's super luchador like sidebar, Lucha Underground was probably the best piece of wrestling that ever came out. I don't want to hear anything about it.
I was
The
about to
rest,
bring that up next. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, I'm about to say the wrestling on that was spectacular. The storytelling, the cinematic, like it was way ahead of its time. Like it was peak.
So, like in training with AR Fox, does
Hmm.
he try to bring that like element of wrestling into it? Like, because I know he's in lucha, and like it's lucha was definitely a different style. Does
Hmm.
is that anything he tries to like implement into his teachings?
What he wants to implement into his teachings is more of he wants you to learn what he teaches us the basics
Okay.
first. You know, how to protect yourself, meaning how to bump, all that stuff. You know, the simple how to run the ropes, things of that nature. He'll teach you like because he's a high flyer. I am not, but that doesn't mean he doesn't know how to teach anything else. Because that's a reputation our school kind of had. We were just the flippy kids that like to land on their heads, what they used to say, and that's just not it. They just didn't have so many big guys like myself that came through before. it wasn't too many of us. It wasn't too many of us powerhouses, and that just so happened. That's just what it was. But that doesn't mean everyone was a high flyer. He teaches you all styles, and then if he can't fully give you that lesson in that certain style, he has people who have graduated and are on doing the on the indie scene now doing their big thing that are those styles. We have big luchadors like Takuri that come and give us lucha training. We have Alex Kane, former MLW heavyweight champion. He'll come in, like I said, he'll teach us some like real graps and like the real powerhouse training, things of that nature. You get your guys like Adrian and Liam, like they'll come back. Leon Ruffin, he was the NXT North American champion. Like they'll come back and put their knowledge onto us. That like I said, if Fox can't teach it to us, somebody will be able to teach it to us. But his knowledge is it's so vast, like it's unbelievable. Like, and it's not just like I said, he teaches you how to be good workers in the ring. He teaches you how to be physically good. And then from that point, then you build your character,
Okay.
you know. But like I said, everyone's different. Some people come in and have a better character, can't do shit in the ring. Some people come in amazing in the ring, shit character. Not everyone's different, you know?
So like, what's it like being, a big man and now it's a little man's world, most of the guys nowadays, that's all they want to do is flip. So like, it's like being the powerhouse.
So for me, like that's another part of my character. I want to bring real big man wrestling back, real powerhouse wrestling. Not saying, you know, the big men that, can do moonsaults like your Keith Lee guys, they aren't good. And your, Dijaks and, things of that nature. They're not saying they aren't good. They're fucking great, you know? But once as a big man, you show that they expect it every time. And let me tell you what I'm not going to do is every match I'm going to hit a moonsault and maybe or maybe not hit it. No, no, no. Like I'm the big man. Like O'Shea was telling me, I'm Michael Myers. I'm Jason. I'm going to slow the pace down. You're going to come to me and I'm going to brutalize you. And that's what it's going to be. And so that's how I handle my matches. I'm the powerhouse. I'm explosive. I'm strong. You think you can fly into the air? I'll catch you. You think you can be faster than me? Cool, be faster. But once you see that explosion and I burst and throw you from one ring to the side to the other, then what? So that's the graps I want to bring.
I'm guessing like, I mean, because building a match is all about the psychology of the match. And like being a big man that does big man things, I bet that helps with being able to tell that story of,
Yeah,
versus little.
yeah, no, big man, little man is easy storytelling match, Now, when you get the problem is when you get these little men that want you to bump the same way as if you were their size. That's not going to happen.
No.
You know, and that guy right there doesn't respect your character. Like he wants to have this super indie match where it's this, and there is a time and place for all that. But when it comes to general storytelling of a match, if you get me down in the first minute of the match, I'm already on my back, then what's the point? It defeats my character and my stature at that point. Yeah, I'm not the tallest guy. I know I'm not
You still,
really big guys.
sorry, it cut out.
Mm.
It cut
Oh
out
my,
a little bit. Oh, we're still good.
we're
Go ahead.
good?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm not none of these really big wrestlers you've seen. I'm not your Kevin Nash's, your Taker, Big Show, Andre. I'm none of that. You know, I'm 6 foot on a good day, and that's me saying it to boost my stats. I'm 285 pounds.
So you're solid.
I'm just a solid guy. So yes, I can still bump for you. I can still bump crazy. But if you're 5 foot 5, one nothing, you think I'm going to let you suplex me and off rip? No, that you we learned that spot. Yeah, that's the pop right there. That's the big hurrah for you. That the fact that you were able to get that on me
Mhm.
because like you say, you gotta protect yourself, protect your character because you know that's what gets the people involved. Wrestling, it is a physical sport, but we're also still storytelling, you know? So if the little man has already beaten the big man, then why should we cheer for the little man? But if oh, he tries this, doesn't get it, and oh, he tries this, doesn't get it, oh, does that, doesn't get it, and he's having to keep fighting back, fighting this mountain and overcoming these obstacles, by the time that it comes for, whatever that gets the big guy down, it's a large pop. So you don't have to do something super crazy on the moves all the time. It can be just a simple like with Ray. It could be like with Ray and Big Show or whatnot. It could be the simple a West Coast pop or the springboard seated senton thing he did. Like it could be something simple as that, and they're because he couldn't get it, he couldn't get it, he couldn't get it, and then this time where he's hitting this comeback and he's got him on the rails. The big guy's getting wobbly in the knees. Boom, that's storytelling. That gets the people invested, you know?
I couldn't agree because like going back to Ray, like usually it's something as simple as a drop kick to the knee and the whole building goes crazy because they know it's about to come.
Because
He
they
spent
know that
that whole
people,
match working that man down.
yeah,
God,
exactly. And then when
which
he finally drop kicks him to the knee, hits him on that rope, 619.
I
And
feel
that
like
that
is a
point,
lost art, man.
it is. Sometimes it is. Because, now you can believe that this 5 foot something, 100 something pound man just KO'd this 7 foot 2, 500 pound man because you saw his struggle. You saw it wasn't easy for him, but he kept fighting. And I mean, like I said, that's simple storytelling, big man, little man.
Yeah. Um, is there going on a different topic, I guess, is there any guys that like you watched growing up or you've seen like go up through the indie scene that you've been able to get in there with?
Oh man. So I didn't get into indie wrestling until really college.
Okay.
All the wrestling I watched as a child was all televised. So, you know, I went back and watched old ECWs, your WWE, TNA, things of that nature. Hell, I didn't even know they had Japanese wrestling. So, like, when I hear, oh, remember when Hogan was in Japan? Nigga, what? So, like, I didn't get into that until college, but as of right now, is there somebody I watched that I was able to get into a ring with? No, not yet.
Not yet.
I'm not, like I said, I got lucky that my first match was with O'Shea, but I don't want to count that because I want O'Shea to fight Eddie Hendricks.
Okay.
I didn't want him to fight King. I want him to fight Eddie Hendricks. That's a whole different animal. I'm not that same young pushover kid.
Yeah.
I'm liable to knock heads off now. Like, I'm a little more dangerous now. Yeah, there's some guys I have been blessed to share the ring with, like a good veteran and Chip Day himself. Real good guy. I got to share the ring with him. I got to share the ring with a lot of up and coming guys now. Yacht Teriyaki, Jay Lucas, Tyler Stevens, The Wall. I got to share the ring with them. It was really good. And We weren't in the same ring, but I got to be on the same card as a Velveteen, and I got to be in the same building as Sting and Darby Allin.
Huh?
So I've been around enough. I've been able to be blessed to be around enough knowledge, but when it comes to, you know, some of the higher profile names or people I watched growing up, or when I started watching indie, not just yet, but it's coming. I know that for sure.
Is there anybody you got your eye on or you want to, take on?
Oh man, I could go for days on the people I want to fight.
If you had to
But
name three,
if I had to name three, are we talking about just on the indies or just in general?
we'll go dead or alive. I'll make it rough.
Oh, geez. Oh, why would you do such a thing?
Oh, you want to split it in two?
All right, cool, 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 cool. So
Gives
we're
you
going.
six guys.
All right, cool, 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 cool. All right, so we'll go dead or alive, six guys. I'm going to give me Samoa Joe,
Okay.
give me, give me Attitude Era Undertaker, give me, mm, this is hard. Give me Eddie.
Okay.
No, I love me a good Eddie Guerrero.
That'd be a good big man, little man match.
Oh, I know. It'd be so spectacular. Give me, give me Rob Van Dam.
Okay.
I mean ECW. Damn, that's what I want.
He's amazing.
Give me Taz, and how many was that? I said
Five. You got five. So we got
um, I said Joe, Taker,
Joe
Eddie,
Baker, Eddie, Van Dam,
Van Dam,
and
Taz,
Taz.
and just because just because I just wanted to be in the ring just to see the power and the spectacleness, give me Andre.
Okay. I like that. I've never heard that one actually. At all my interviews, everybody's all like, never brings up Andre, and I don't
I w-
understand why.
I would have loved to be in a match with Andre. He'd whip my ass, no problem. But just to, just to see the spectacle. At least, younger Andre when he could move more and wasn't, so hurt from his growth. Yes.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
But if you want me to give you a list of indies now, all right. Oh, all right. All right. In on the indie scene now, give me obviously I want my O'Shea run back. Give me man, I've wanted this match for a while since I found out about him. Give me Calvin Tankman.
Okay.
Um who else would I love to fight right now? And because I'm gonna give you three big men and I'm gonna give you three not so big men. And then give me there's a nice young man called Brick Savage that's doing the thing right now.
Okay.
He's doing some good big man work and his name is getting higher and higher up there. At least from what I'm seeing. So I would like that too. Now, on the back end, give me. And I'm naming people that aren't regularly on TV. So I'm not naming no TNA, you know, New Japan, none of those guys. I'm talking about
Like,
strictly indies.
these are guys that I'm interested. This is why I did the podcast, is because these are the
Hmm.
guys I'm interested in. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. Um, I would like to have a singles match with Teriyaki because the match I had with him was a tag, and I would like to run a good singles with him. He's really good. Like he's a really good innovator, and he really understands it. I'm not just saying that because he's a guy who comes from the school and I train and has trained with us, and is he's really good like that. So give me teriyaki, give me Darian Benningston, out there in TWE and all over now. Like Darian is really good. I really do enjoy his work. And then after that, I would probably say, oh man, there's so many good people to wrestle these days. Um, give me what's Buddy's name I'm thinking of? Oh, it's drawn a blank. Since I can't think of that name right now, give me I would enjoy to run a match with Shug D.
Okay.
Yeah, those are my six right now.
All
I
right.
mean, I want to run matches with everybody. Starboy Charlie, Noah Vale, Rico Gonzalez, Liam Gray. Like, there's a bunch of guys I'd like to run singles with, but you know, the big man matches obviously because we love big meaty men slapping meat. And give me these good technical guys that know how to work.
Them real graps.
Hmm. That's good.
Um, what would you I got a couple more. This will be like one of the last two questions, but I just saw Kurt Angle is doing a GCW show.
Mm.
You think he would be somebody you would like to try to get in the ring with? I don't know if he's wrestling at
Look,
said show, but
look, look. Angle's on the list of guys I would love to wrestle. I would love to wrestle both versions of Kurt Angle. I'd love to wrestle Ruthless Aggression Angle and TNA Perk Angle. I would love to wrestle those guys. Wrestling Angle now, I know he can still go and still got it, but I would definitely still enjoy, like, yeah, wrestle Angle right now, 100%, because
100%.
I'm going to learn so much, so much.
Okay. Last thing before I go, I always like to ask whoever's on the other side of the screen for some advice for anybody that might want to be in your shoes. Is there any advice you got for a young up and comer?
Any advice I got, protect yourself always, not just your character, but your body physically. You can always say, no, no, I'm not taking that. I see a lot of people that, yeah, there are some crazy moves out there, and wrestlers are crazy. There are certain things I'm never going to take.
Okay.
You know, travel, jump in cars. If you want to get your name out there, you got to get out there yourself and listen. Be coachable. I know it's not it's not like a coaching sport, but it's still a coaching sport. Like, be coachable. If someone, not, but also learn to discern from, actual information and information from somebody who's hating or a vet that didn't make it as hating. Because sometimes you'll hear that. I hear so much information from other wrestlers after I do a match or whatnot. Some of it's good, some of it's just yada 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 yada. You know, you know, be coachable for the guys that you be in positions to where you want to be. Like I said, I debuted on Action not too long ago. It's the biggest show in Georgia. I got there being coachable. He told me when I did his Action Next Up, where he gives guys who help come set up the ring or whatever, or help or are going to help the show, he lets them wrestle in front of him and the other wrestlers, and they give him feedback. He gave me coachable stuff like, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. Next time I wrestle in front of him, I love to see that you listened and improved. Here's what you gotta do next. Next thing you know, I'm on his show. I'm on IWTV now. Now, instead of, the 50 or 100 people that may have seen me come that came to the show, now it's the thousands, hundreds, tens, thousands, however many people watch IWTV have access to me now. Now my name goes broader.
Okay.
So that's what I would say. Protect yourself both physically and your character. Less is more. Travel, be coachable, have discernment. Know how to weed out the real information from the fake information.
I like it.
You do all those things, and obviously take care of your body, you'll be good. Like I said, I don't have the most information again under 2 years in the game, but where I've been able to go, the buildings I've been able to be in, the wrestlers I've been able to watch and learn from and give me good advice to continuously get better, it's a hell of a start. And I can only imagine where I will be in the next few years from here.
Is there anything else like you'd like to plug once again, just to let the audience know where they can find you or whatnot?
Man, if you go to WWA4 on YouTube, we stream live every Thursday. I'm gonna be there until the clock runs, until I'm booked everywhere. You can find me on IWTV on Action. Hit me on Instagram, Eddie Hindrixx _ at the end. Dolomite Hendrix on Twitter. I'm always posting where I'm gonna be and where I'm going. So if you keep up with me there, you'll be able to find me. Trust.
Sounds good, man. Thank you once again. Really appreciate you being on here. And hopefully we get a part
Thank
two.
you.
Part two.
Oh no, most definitely.
All right,
We'll
thank
definitely get a part two. You gotta get another update.
sounds good. I'm looking
You know,
forward to
yeah, maybe next time I'll have some gold on my shoulders. I could, yeah, you see this? I got this in Germany and I got this over here in Texas.
I'm looking forward to it, man. Thank you once again for joining us over here at ILW Pod.
Of
We'll
course.
see you
Thank
soon.
you.
See you soon.
Most definitely. You too now. Have a good one.
You too.